Hey everybody, Movie Review Next Door here, and I'm back with another review. And this time, I saw Saw 6. This was a 2009 horror thriller film directed by Kevin Gruder, and it stars Tobin Bell, Costas Mandylor, Mark Rolston, Betsy Russell, Shawnee Smith, Peter Outerbridge, Athena Karkanos, and Athena Karkanos. Excuse me. In this film, Special Agent Strom is dead, and Detective Hoffman has emerged as the unchallenged successor to Jigsaw's legacy. However, when the FBI draws closer to Hoffman, he is forced to set a game into motion, and Jigsaw's grand scheme is finally understood. So, let me adjust this. What did I think of Saw 6? Well, I remember this being one of the better ones, and I still think that. I think this is a very effective film, just like the last one is. I think I like this one just a tad better than this last one. I'm still on the fence on if it's better than. Well, no, I do think I like this better than Saw 2. I like this and 5 better than Saw 2. But let me get to the cast. Tobin Bell did a great job as John Kramer, Jigsaw. I have nothing really bad to say about this guy's performance. I love Tobin Bell. Costas Mandylor is again great as Mark Hoffman, still pretty good in the role. Mark Rolston is Dan Erickson. He's another FBI agent. He's kind of just there, not much really to say about his character. Betsy Russell is Jill Tuck. She's still decent. I know a lot of people really like to make fun of her because apparently she was engaged to one of the producers, Mark Berg, and that's why she's in these movies. But I didn't really hate her acting here. I think in the seventh film, her acting is at its worst, but that's only in memory. I'll try to watch the next three tomorrow, and then the next day I'll try to get to Saw X. Shawnee Smith is Amanda Young. She doesn't have a big part in this, but she still does a good job. Peter Outerbridge is kind of our main character. William, he does a good job playing the slimy insurance guy, and just a second here. Okay, sorry, something was beeping. Um, but he does a good job playing this character, and I actually got into the whole thing of his games, which was this film came out around the same time as the big healthcare crisis where people were being taken off of healthcare for not mentioning a current illness or something, uh, which is still a thing that's going on today. Um, and Athena Karkanos as Agent Perez, she's kind of brought in and taken away with little to no fanfare. And I'm going to make this a spoiler review because I do want to talk about a lot of things that I really, really, really like in this movie. This is, again, one of the lowest rated ones on Metacritic or Rotten Tomatoes, and I really don't see why. Again, spoilers, because I want to talk in a bit deeper about certain parts of this film that I just fucking love. They the way that the traps work in this one really is interesting because the last film wasn't so much traps for the most part as it was a game. It was a bit different because it was Hoffman starting out as a Jigsaw protege or apprentice. So it had to be a bit different because he didn't really have the know-how of to make traps yet. But in this film, he's got a lot better. There's some really memorable ones here, to be perfectly honest. One of them is very simple, but very effective. There's one where he had the William has to like hold on to these two pulleys or these two handles, and on one side There's a young guy who basically is a nobody, and there's an older woman who has a family but is middle-aged and her family has high rates has a high chance of getting diabetes. And due to his like health shit, his like health coverage system, she would be denied coverage and he would get coverage. And then he ends up choosing to save the middle-aged woman because she has family, which is kind of like the whole thing with the family they denies coverage earlier. That guy has a family. He denies him coverage, and the guy ends up fucking dying and leaving his family behind. So he doesn't want to have to do that again. It's well made filmmaking if you actually look for it and don't immediately rush to call this torture porn without paying attention to the story. If you go into a film, okay, the only Saw films I can consider torture porn would be, well, not even full films. Saw 3 is the closest it got to torture porn, in my opinion, because it really reveled in the trap scenes. Everything took way too long. In the other films, Saw 2, the most of torture porn you get is the guy roasting alive in the furnace, and but that was because he chose not to do what would have saved him. And the one woman um with her arms caught in the thing, which was a stupid thing too. So because if she had paid the fuck attention and actually listened to the tape, she would have known how to do some shit. And that's part of the issue I have with Saw 2. But in Saw 4, the most I can say is torture in Saw 4 is the frickin' oh, what was it? The like there was the scene with the bars through the husband and wife, but there I liked that trap. It made sense and everything. Saw 3 is the only film in the series I can legitimately call torture porn so far. Maybe Saw the Final Chapter. Maybe. But given the context of that film, I can understand why they're being tortured. Most of them, and I'll get to them. But in this film it is not. Saw 6 is not a torture porn film. There is a scene at the beginning, and that's about it. Most of the film is games that people are put through where, yes, they can get injured for the most part, but most of the deaths are pretty swift, and it's not really reveling in the deaths. And I think it's better that way. It's the same way that the fifth one did it, where most of the deaths, most of the main deaths in the meat of the film are not torturous deaths. They're quick for the most part, except for like the trap scenes, which in 5 there weren't a bunch of traps. It was more so the game and a couple things that were meant to be unwinnable or, well, there was a point. Saw 3 for the most part at what didn't seem to be a point because there was also the whole thing about the unwinnable traps, which pissed me off. It really did. Um, but here you have an interesting story of this healthcare executive, this insurance executive, who's put through all these traps to try to save his crew that he works with. And I found it pretty compelling. There were some really nice there are some really nice character moments. I'm not even joking. There are nice character moments in this film. There's a bit where on the shotgun carousel. I love that scene where all of the 6 people that he usually has like looking through the inquiries to see like, oh, they didn't get that right. We can't give them insurance. Those evil fuckers. And I agree with the politics of this film. Insurance companies are shit. They really are. They suck. They will find any reason to throw you off. And I'm not just saying that because I'm not currently insured. They do that shit all the time. They still do it. But all of them are like telling their life stories to try to get their boss to like save them because only two of the six will make it out. One of the women says I'm pregnant. People are like, no, she's lying. It's interesting. It really is. The one guy's like, I'm loaded. If you let me live, I'll give you all the cash you want. And there's even a part where the boss, William, puts his hand on the thing to like stop the next person from being shot when the shotgun carousel hasn't even stopped, showing that he doesn't want to have to do any of this. Show don't tell. Did you ever think that in a Saw film there would be show don't tell? Like visual storytelling. And I think that's because Kevin Gruder really understands what the fans of the series want. They want a tense, thrilling, and even a bit gory horror film. And yes, there is gore in this film, but I don't think it's exploitative, really. For the most, like, yeah, there's moments of for shock value when you see Strom's dead body when the walls open up at the beginning. Yeah, that's for shock value. So what? It's not like these people are like it's not like these people haven't seen gore before, and shitting on the movie just for being gory is a really stupid thing to do, given that, well, people call these films torture porn. I can say Seven is misery porn because so much of the film is people wallowing in misery, finding these different people who like are miserable. Yeah, if these people want to label the Saw films as torture porn, Seven is misery porn, and I don't like Seven. Yes, I said it. I was trying to be nice before. I said I didn't mind Seven. I didn't like Seven. It's overlong, boring. Brad Pitt's okay at best. Morgan Freeman is there so people love it immediately, and Kevin Spacey's a fucking pedo. Like, I don't, I don't, I don't know what I'm supposed to say. I don't know what I'm supposed to say to be, PC or whatever. But Kevin Spacey's a child toucher. Like, what more can I say? But this film, there are moments of like real show don't tell or like meaningful reincorporation or stuff. I There's the one bit near the end where they're trying to decode the tape, one of the tapes that Hoffman had done, and Hoffman is with the people like waiting like, "Oh fuck, what am I going to do when they decode the tape and find out it's my voice?" And the line that they're decoding is right now you're feeling helpless, which really ties into when he basically goes crazy and kills the people that were decoding it. Right now you're feeling helpless, just like these people are after decoding the tape and him killing them. Like it's this film understands. Like Kevin Gruder, I love you, man. I will watch other films of yours. I want to give you a chance with things other than Saw. I'll watch Jezebel, sure, sometime. Right now. I'll put it on the watch list. See right there, Jezebel. There you go, watch listed. But yeah, like I feel like he just understands. He understands what the Saw fans want, and he also knows how to make a pretty good film. And yes, I know. I know a lot of people don't like these later sequels. They say the first three are the best. I don't agree. Again, I like two, but I fucking hate three. I cannot say that any more times than I already have. I fucking hate three. So it's just I want to be nicer, but something is holding me back from being nicer. Um, but yeah, I really liked experiencing this film again. If Are there any issues with the film? Yes. Um, Detective Perez is kind of just brought back to die. Same with Dan Erickson and this new like hacker character that just kind of there to die because If Hoffman dies now, then who's going to be the villain in final chapter? Which isn't the final chapter. There's three afterwards. Yay. Um, and two of them that aren't in this current timeline or whatever, which thanks. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed coming back to it. It's a breezy watch. It is literally only 90 minutes. 85 minutes without the credits. It's a very brisk watch, very enjoyable. The time flew the fuck by with this and Saw 5. Cuz Saw 3 was just such a drag that I was waiting for them to up the pace. Let me check real quick how long Saw the Final Chapter is. Same length. Good on you guys. But yeah, can't wait. Can't wait to watch Saw 3D again. I think I'm gonna suffer through Jigsaw and Spiral as well, but I'm doing all this to make it up to Saw X because Kevin Gruder returns as director for that, which is awesome. But Kevin Gruder also returns as director for Saw 3D, so can't wait. Or Saw the Final Chapter. But yeah, I liked the film. Sue me. That was my review of Saw 6. If you liked the review, comment down below. If you've seen the film, let me know what you think. Yada yada yada. You've heard this before. And movie review next door. Out.